Hey, Fae folk, welcome and welcome back to another doll ranking or doll adjacent ranking because today we're going to be taking a look at and ranking all of the Barbie dream houses. I'm going to be honest, I can't remember if this specifically was a request from one of you guys or whether it was just like in general playset rankings. Sometimes I'm not great when I write down ideas at like denoting exactly what was the case, but it's at least close to something that was a suggestion from one or more of you. So hopefully this will be fun to go through today. Of course, as with all of my rankings and all of my videos in general, these are just going to be my opinions. If I say that one of these dream houses is absolute trash and that happens to be your favorite, it doesn't mean we have beef. We just have like different opinions. So do please be like polite about it in the comments down below. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm kind of interested for this one because I have ranked, I know I've done some ranking on playsets before. I think it might have been like Monster High Gen 1. That seems like something I would have done. But for the most part, like I talk about dolls specifically, I'm not necessarily like a super playset focused person. So this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be focusing on a little bit of like different things, and I'm very interested to see how this goes. So let's just jump right on into it. Alrighty, so as per usual with my ranking videos, we are using Procreate, and then the tier ratings we have for today, some vaguely related to the subject at hand. In top tier, we have Get Me a Mortgage, like I would live there immediately. Then we have This Is Nice, okay, it's a house, surely it can't be worse, and oh dear God, I don't know what I was doing when I came up with these tier names. I always like prep these videos days in advance, and then I come to sit down and film them, and I'm like, what on earth were you doing? That's besides the point, though. Also important to note that all of the like images and like basically the entire list that I came through, minus the most recent one, was from the People of Play website. It's just like I literally Googled list of Barbie dream houses because that's easy. And so that's where I got all of the information and like everything from. So if I'm missing one, I do apologize. I am far from a dream house expert. So this is just what we're working with today. So we're starting out with 1962. And I do think that this is like an interesting way to do a like playset, like a dream house. Everything is cardboard, it looks like, for the most part, except like the hangers hanging in the closet. But like 99% of everything is cardboard, which honestly is like kind of cool because for a doll-sized furniture, it could be a sturdy enough cardboard to where it functions perfectly fine. And then obviously that's like a lot more sustainable in theory if you're using like the right stuff and processes and everything than plastic. So I do think that this is an interesting concept, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that it hasn't been like revamped for the modern age. That being said, I don't mean this in a derogatory way because I think this is like a perfectly fine little setup, but this isn't really a dream house. Frankly, I would be pressed to even call it like a dream apartment. It is giving me very dream motel room vibes. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm just saying, like, this to me, hon- honestly, I look at it and I'm just like, this feels like it would be a set from Supernatural. Like, just a really weirdly vibrant motel room. But outside of the pink, like, that feels very accurate. And again, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily feel house. Like, this isn't giving me house vibes necessarily. I do think there are some really cool elements. I like the books in the background. We'll see as we go through this that like some dream houses are like a little bit more realistic and some are much more fantasy, sort of, not like literal fantasy. I also probably should have said I'm literally only doing dream houses, like I'm not doing Barbie castles and stuff like that. That would be a separate video if y'all care to see it. um but yeah, some of these are like more realistic, some of them are very like pink everywhere. This is one that I would say is more realistic just because like obviously it has pink elements, but a lot of it is more grounded in reality. I mean, there's like wood texturing on a lot of these things. I think it's fine. I'm gonna be honest. Like it's okay, but it's just really not exciting to me. Funnily enough, I'm gonna put it in It's a House. Even though I just went on that whole thing about it really doesn't feel like a house, just because that tier is more like a, oh well, it sure does exist, like it sure is a house. So despite it pretty categorically not being a house, I'm putting it in there because I don't know, chaos. Then we're moving on to the 1964 Dream House, which looks like it's pretty similar. this isn't like necessarily the best image. I do apologize. Again, I got all of them from like the one website, so this is what we're working with. And it feels like this is a very similar vibe. I mean, a lot of the pieces in like this section, I should get a better color so it stands out more. Let's do blue. That's fun. This section here look quite similar to the ones that we just saw. We are still looking at cardboard, but this is properly a house because there is clearly the living room kind of section over here. And then we have like a little kitchenette, it almost looks like. And then there's like a whole bedroom with like a wardrobe and everything. So this at least qualifies as like a house. Not even that like you have to have more than one room to be a house, but just like the last one didn't even have any sort of bathroom or kitchen. So like at that point, I think that's why it's giving like motel room vibes, the last one. Whereas this one, still missing the bathroom, but like I understand that that's maybe not as exciting all the time for play purposes. So that's like a room that I can understand not being there. This feels more like a house. It is still honestly just not very exciting to me. And this bed feels incorrect. Like it's that long. And then if I take this and I'll rotate it, I'll fix everything. Don't worry. I just want to compare. Like, am I sleeping on the wrong size bed? Because my bed surely is not that long compared to my body. Like, it's longer than my body, but it's not that long. I don't know why that matters to me. It's unimportant. We're putting it in It's a House also. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said all of that just to like plop it in that tier. All right, 1965. This one is technically like half marketed towards Skipper, but it was on the list, so we're going with it. And once again, this doesn't feel like a house, which is funny because it technically has all of the like quote unquote rooms that you would want from a house. It's not very divided, and I think maybe that's the thing because like this midsection is supposed to function kind of as a living room. I think this is like an eating area down here. Obviously, we have like mostly a printed kitchen, and then we have the wardrobe and the bedroom. But it just doesn't, it doesn't feel, I don't know. I don't like this one. Because like, at least the first one, yes, it felt more like a motel room to me than like an actual dream house. But at least it felt like it was the right size and space. Like it felt somewhat believable in that sense. If you marketed it as motel room, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. I maybe hotel room is a nice way to put it. I feel like the word motel kind of gives like a negative connotation. But looking at this, it just feels really cramped. Almost as though this would fit better being some sort of like mobile home or like tiny house. So I mean, I guess you could say this is the dream tiny house. I don't know. I'm not really vibing with it. I feel like it doesn't come with that many interesting pieces. I'm putting this in surely it can't be worse. Something about the vibes on that one are not working for me. Okay, 1979. We're getting somewhere interesting. This one is plastic, which I think the last one was cardboard too, which makes this the first plastic dream house. And while I like definitely understand in like environmental concerns, that would technically be worse. From a design perspective, though, this is way more interesting than the last one. It's also much bigger. Can't see like necessarily all of the details here, but you can definitely get enough of it. It looks like we've got a kitchen over here, some like dining area over here. I'm not sure what's in this section. And even up here, this seems to just be kind of like a vague lounge area. And then we have like the bedroom kind of over here. I like the shape of this. I think this is quite fun. And also, not only like is it something that I do think is just a nice like shape, like I feel like it's a nice design. I don't know. I'm not an architect. I don't know what the words are. Like I do think it's just in general aesthetically pleasing, but I also feel like it probably makes a lot of sense to market towards kids because like if you ask a child to draw a house, chances are they're going to go with like this sort of shape. Like maybe they'll get fancy and like put a window up here and like a door and everything. I don't know why I bothered to do all that. But like this just feels very much like the quintessential house shape that a kid might think of, or at least that I definitely thought of as a kid. Obviously not all houses are shaped like that, but like that just feels kind of like the stereotypical house shape that I grew up thinking of. So it feels something very appropriate, like a very appropriate type of house to use for a kid's playset. I really love the window boxes here. They're not even like, I don't know if window boxes is the right word because like that's not really a window, it's like an opening to play. But It's close enough. I think that's really, really fun to get the little plastic flowers. It's a really cute little detail that we have in there. I like how spacious this feels. Again, I can't see all of the details, but it just looks fun. I like the different shapes. It looks like this window might actually open, like the angle there makes it look like you can tilt the window open. I like the doors and like the patterning on the doors, like it's almost a lattice. It's really cool. Like, I will say it doesn't look from this image as though there's tons of detail inside. Like, it doesn't look like there's as much printed detail and maybe not tons of accessories, but I think the base of the house is really, really cool. So I'm going to put this, excuse me? Okay. I don't know what just happened. I'm going to put this in. This is nice. Moving on to 1984. This is interesting because it does have still some of that quintessential like house shaping, but it also has like a whole second floor that's kind of built into the roof. I don't like the organization of this one as much. Like, there's a living room here, a bedroom kind of here, but there's not really walls. And I do understand that it's hard because walls do make it harder to like play with a house. But I do like some sense of realism. I know a lot of houses now, or like a lot of not even just Barbie dream houses, but just in general, like play sets are almost like the sliced in half style where you have like the outside of the building on one side and then on the inside it's completely open faced with like the room dividers, and it's kind of pretending that like the other half of the house is like invisible, if that makes sense in any capacity. You'll see what I'm saying as we go on. I think that's like a good compromise just because it allows ease of access for play, but there's some degree of like believability to it still. Whereas this is just like Girly Pop is sleeping where she's getting rained on. I do like the barbecue. That's weirdly adorable. I just think that's that's a cute little touch. We've got like a little patio section up here. This is chill. I really like the top half and I like the concept of the bottom, but I just don't think I'm gonna put it in okay. The bedroom is really throwing me off. Okay, moving on to 1986. Again, similar sort of shape here. I don't know if the original house, I think it's the A-frame. I think that's what this is. I don't feel confident about that, but I think this one here is like the A-frame house, and this is kind of like a recolor of that. Obviously, a lot of very similar elements, just in pink. I don't know if the original one had hinges, because it looks like maybe this one hinges, or it's just shaped that way. Y'all will have to let me know in the comments down below because I'm obviously unsure. But we can see like some more details and such. It looks like there's more accessories that it comes with, maybe with like the kitchen down here especially. There's lots of little pieces, and high key, I I love that clear pink oven door. That's like so fun. This little guy here. That's it's just so silly goofy. It's very Barbie, but I really like it. We still have like plenty of window boxes and planters. We've got what looks like a real nice couch up there. A little like vanity area over here maybe. And then it seems like maybe the bed is this guy here. I feel like this is pretty sick. Ooh, there's like definitely a dining room hiding over here. I have no idea. This looks like it could be a TV because this looks like a Barbie face. So I'm guessing maybe a TV in the middle. That's pretty cool. Like, this very much feels, again, I don't know for sure just because of the images that I had of the first one that was like kind of the shape. I don't know if it also like had all of these things, but I didn't see them. So I'm assuming that it didn't. I think this is really sick. Personally, the pink is like maybe not my favorite just because I do sometimes find it overwhelming. There's no rules for me on when it is and when it is not overwhelming. You'll see later. I don't know. I'm just a hypocrite. Anyway, I'm not 100% sold on the intense pinkness with this one, but I'm still going to put this in Get Me a Mortgage because, like, the details are so cool and I really do like the shape. Then we have 1995, and this is. I can't really see anything from the photo. I acknowledge that. I hate this. It's just like the Pepto-Bismol pink especially is like so overdone here. It's not even like there's a variety of pinks like in the last one we looked at. This is straight up like just the Pepto pink, which is a lot. I also am not obsessed with just the design overall. I want to like the tower situation over here because in real life, I actually grew up like somewhat close to a house that had a similar shape, and I always wanted to live there. I don't live there currently. It's, you know, it's one of those things. But I always wanted to live there because I thought it was so fun and like so castle-y. But I don't know. I think it being pink isn't helping because like that shape, that kind of castle-y look in like a brown, you know, I know brown is kind of a boring color for Barbie, but like for a house, I don't know. I just think it looks cooler. Whereas this just looks a little bit confused whether it's supposed to be a house or an actual literal princess castle, because Barbie makes those too. Biggest thing is without being able to look on the inside, in like the nicest way possible, this looks like a knockoff. And I don't inherently think that every like quote unquote knockoff or like budget version is terrible. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I am trying to say is that for a Barbie Dreamhouse branded playhouse, this looks like I could get it much cheaper off brand. And I just like, it's just not the vibe. I'm putting it in, oh dear God, I'm not here for it. 1998, still a lot of pink, and it does look, based off of this little section here, like we've still got the tower going on. I don't know what color the outside is. It looks like it might be this white, like that continues around, so maybe it's like less pink on the outside. Obviously very pink on the inside, but it's cool to get to see what's on the inside with this one. I fully recognize that this guy down here, I might be ranking unfairly because I can't see the inside, but like, that's what we're doing today. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I like the concept of like the stained glass windows here and then down on the door, but I don't know if I like the execution of them. There are a lot of details which I can appreciate, especially in like the sort of like kitchen dining area. They seem to really go all out sometimes with that stuff. There's a little potted plant, which is quite cute. Oh, that's cute. Hold on. There's like a little bay window with a seat here. I love that. My house has a bay window, but it's like in the dining room or like in the kitchen. So not necessarily like where you would install a seat. I mean, I guess I could. I don't know. That's so besides the point. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted here. This one, I don't like the wallpaper, don't necessarily love the colors. I like the details. We're gonna put this in okay. I think that's where we're going. Then 2000, still with this like towery shape. I wonder if it's because it's like easy to do with like the hinges or something. I don't really know. Again, can't see the inside, so feel free to roast me in the comments for not bothering to like find images of the inside. I could have. I honestly can't really justify why I didn't. I just didn't think of it while I was prepping for this video, and it's way too late now. This is only slightly better than the one I put in the bottom. Just something about the shape of it and everything. Like, it is very similar, but I feel like there's more detail in the balcony. The door's a little bit different. We're gonna plop that into, it can't be worse. All right, moving on to 2006. Don't know what the outside of this one looks like. Inside, though, this is a vibe. To be fair, it probably helps that I grew up in the early 2000s, so like some of these elements feel reminiscent of that time to me. I never had a dream house. I think the only like big playset, like a house thing that I had, or like a castle that I had, was in fact a castle. I had the Swan Lake castle from Barbie, but I think that was the only like really big playset that I ever had as a kid. So I never had this, but there are some elements that I'm just like, oh my God. Yes, like the beanbag. I think especially the bedroom. The beanbag is killer. And this, the canopy on the bed. Oh my God. To this day, I would love a canopy. I did used to have one when I was younger. Cannot have one currently because my darling, darling cats will destroy it. So like it would be a complete waste of money, but I love the way they look. I just think they're so fun and just like whimsical. I don't know. It's a real vibe. It looks like there's a lot of detail on the vanity section here. I do think it's pretty cool that there is a spiral staircase. That is another house feature that I have long been obsessed with. Another feature I do not have, which like that's understandable. It's not necessarily the most realistic feature to have in most houses, but like In theory, I really, really love it. It's so fun. I will say the living room, this is pretty sparse. This needs something else. Because, like, in a real house, yes, it would be nice to have all this blank space so you can move about. I get that. But in, like, a Barbie dream house, it just kind of feels empty for play purposes. The kitchen slash laundry room, part of me is like, I don't know if I love the design, but also in the apartment that we lived in for ages, that's exactly how it was set up. Our laundry was like in the kitchen. And honestly, it was way better than like having to go to a laundromat. So if that's the only place that you can put it, I'll take it. The bath, I think, is super, super cute. I like the fact that it's like a loose bath, it looks like. There's a towel, there's some details in there. I don't know what this up here is supposed to be. Like a movie room and entertainment. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. It's definitely not perfect, mostly because I do think that it looks a little bit empty, but I love so much of it, so it's going in This Is Nice. 2008 is the same structure, but violently recolored, and we have promptly exited the part where I'm excited about this. You can see some more details, and I do like this little pantry area. That's very cute. The miniatures are getting me. We have, looks like a slightly different vanity, different beanbag. But yeah, mostly it's all the same, like different stuff on the entertainment center. But oh my god, I I know I'm like on a Barbie kick right now, and I'm really excited about Barbie core, and like I do fully stand by that. I think that Barbie having like a strong pink presence makes tons of sense for the brand, like it works. I just don't think this is the way to do it. I personally am like, this is a little too far. This is not necessarily my favorite era of Barbie. I also just noticed, I'm pretty sure this cat is printed onto the couch. That's insane. That's a crazy decision to make. I hate that. It cannot possibly cost that much extra to just mold a solid plastic cat. That is wild. It feels crazy of me to put this in Oh Dear God. But this era of Barbie with like this particular color story is not, in fact, the era that I have nostalgia for, and I don't love it. So I'm gonna put it in Oh Dear God. It's just so much. It's just a lot on my eyeballs. 2009 is somehow even pinker. And again, like there are going to be pink houses that I like. I mean, I already have like one up there that I like. There is at least one other for sure that I know of that's very pink that I love, but this is too much. She has a hot tub though. And an elevator, which like very unrealistic in most people's homes. Um cool for Barbie. I Does she get to go into second to bottom tier because of the hot tub? I can't. I have to put this in Oh Dear God. It's just, it hurts to look at. Like, it's just, I don't even know where to put my eyeballs. It's too much. 2011 is a little better. It's still extremely pink, extremely saturated colors. I just feel like there's at least a little bit more balance. And there's a lot that I really like here. The tiny little like kitchen area, cute. It's always going to be cute. I don't know what it is about a tiny kitchen that gets me, but like it is completely a vibe. The bathroom here with the little like shower divider, I actually think is precious, especially because it's kind of hard to see, but I think these are like the Barbie head logo stamped on. That's really, really cute. The it seems like almost like a futon in the middle here, because I feel like that's, I mean, that has to be where she sleeps because there's no other place for her to sleep. But also like with the moving TV stand, it feels like very much kind of an entertainment place. I don't really know. That I'm going to call that the futon. There's a fan. That's cute. I don't know why that's cute to me. The vanity area, this is kind of whatever. Most of it's printed on, and like I understand you can't make everything 3D when you're doing a playhouse because it's going to be so expensive to make. Like I do understand that. This degree of printed on, I just think is like not chill. Like having a whole piece of furniture, it's just a little too much for me personally. But we do have up top here a little stargazing area complete with a telescope. That's really fun. That's just like a detail that 0% had to be there, but I'm so glad that it made it into the final design. Oh, this is hard. Okay, let me look at like these. What would I rather have? Okay, I think I'm gonna put this in okay. just because I would rather have the ones in like the this is nice tier than this house. But it's still pretty solid. It's still definitely an improvement. If you like that color scheme, like I like this house a lot better than others with that color scheme. I am really taking my sweet ass time here. 2012. We're back to the absolutely overwhelming like color scheme and everything, which is super funny because this is just a recolor of this one, but it came after a brand new house. Like that's so bizarre. It is a recolor, but not much of a recolor. Like it still is a lot of the same feelings I had for the first one that we saw that looked like this. I can see now that there's a chandelier, which is cute. It's too much for me to look at. I'm sorry. It has to go into, oh dear God. 2013, same sort of color scheme, different layout though. So we can analyze that, I guess. Is that a turkey? There's a turkey in the oven, but there's also a turkey printed onto the back of the oven, and there's oven racks, both 3D and that's so weird. Just leave the back of the oven. Whatever. That's not my business. The elevator goes straight up the middle in this one, neatly divides the house in two. We have like a dining area with the chandelier again. The bed's fine. Again, like a lot of printed stuff, although I do like the kind of curtain situation that we've got going there. Proper sort of like living room / entertainment area, which is weird. Hold on, the layout here is bizarre. Like, granted, I've lived in more. Well, have I? I've moved a lot. Not like as much as some people, but I think throughout my life. Hold on, we're gonna finger count because that's what I'm capable of. 1, 2, 3. Okay, in my life, I've lived in 6 houses and then 3 apartments. I think that's right. That's like spanning my entire life. And I have never, to be fair, I've never lived in a house with 3 floors. But I've never even lived in a house, or even I don't think entered like a friend's house or anything, that had the living room on the 2nd floor, let alone on the 3rd floor. That just feels not not where you put a living room. I do understand that, like, I get it's not real. It matters to me though. I'm sorry. And then we have her like closet over here, which is far separated from her room. I just think the layout's weird. There are some cool details, but with the layout and the color scheme, y'all already know where this is going. It's going in, oh dear God. 2015, still lots of pink. There's some white to balance it out though. So like this is the kind of all pink that I can get behind. It looks like we have a garage, which I think is a cool feature. Obviously Barbie also makes like play vehicles. So I think that's kind of fun that you could like park your Barbie car in your Barbie house garage. Like that's wholesome to me. Lots of detail in the kitchen, which y'all know I love to see. Although I personally wouldn't cook a turkey and cookies at the same time. Like you do you, but I personally would not be doing that. We have another elevator here. A front door, though, which I think the last one was lacking, funnily enough. We've got the bathroom and the eating area. I guess having the eating area atop the kitchen is like fine. That's, you know, I can accept that for a dollhouse layout. We do have a little like pet area, which I want to be cute, except for the fact that that's like printed onto the wall. There is this, a little fish tank. That's kind of fun. That's kind of cute. Moving up, we then have the bedroom. We have a canopy and a chandelier, which does feel like a fire hazard. Especially, I mean, I guess these could be electric candles, but that definitely looks like candles. But even electric ones, like having it close to that like gauzy fabric, that it feels like a fire hazard. If, oh my God, I don't know if anyone has done this. I'm going to look it up after, but y'all can let me know in the comments. I obviously can't because I think it's pretty clear I'm not a home inspector, but I think it would be so funny for a home inspector to go through Barbie dream houses and talk about how they're not in code. I would anybody else like to see that? Because I think that would be so cool. Someone out there who's a home inspector, if it hasn't been done already, y'all need to get on that because that would be so funny to watch. Anyway, though, we then have like a small closet area and then like a living room area with a fan, which I guess is important here. And listen, I understand fully that you like can have a fan and also central heating and cooling. Like I understand that. We have a standing fan because my husband needs to hear a fan to sleep. So like I understand, but there is part of me that finds it unbelievably comical that Barbie can apparently afford a house that has 3 floors, a garage, and an elevator, but either like again, like ignoring the other reasons to want a fan, she can afford those things, but she cannot afford air conditioning. I'm taking this way too seriously. I hope any of y'all are having fun. I am. Tony would tell me that I'm having an autism moment, but I think it's hilarious. All of that to say, I'm going to put this in It's a House because there are definitely cool elements, but there are a lot of really questionable ones. Okay, we have 4 more. I've got to stop talking so much. I say that in every ranking video, literally every single one. 2016. I'm. Is this an escalator? Again, I know it's for play. I do know that. But imagine living in a house where you have an escalator connected straight to your bathroom. I just think it's funny. Like in real life, first of all, like wildly impractical. It feels like to have an escalator. Like surely there are easier ways. Like I just I literally can't get over that. I can't stop laughing enough to film the rest of my thoughts. Good God. This one seems to implicate is not the word. Incorporate a lot of elements that are not meant to be sat into the house itself. You can see that the like eating area as well as the questionable sofa are both sat outside of the house, which I do think is interesting. I get that it's probably much easier to design a dream house space wise if you kind of just are like, oh yeah, just put this outside, but it does kind of break the reality for me. Kitchen's unexciting. Bedroom looks rough. Not vibing with that. This TV is facing nowhere. Like at least when the ones are like on the wall, it's like you can put a Barbie on like the stool here and have her watch it, but like the TV is just facing you as the human being playing with this. The elevator kind of looks more like a torture chamber. I'm being really mean. I don't like this. Also, why do you need an elevator and an escalator? Specifically in a dream house. I do understand that they serve different functions. Like, obviously, if you're someone who like uses wheelchairs or even just like crutches or anything like that, it might be easier to be in an elevator than an escalator. Like, I get that, but you can't even like you could use crutches or like a cane or something like that. I don't think you could get a wheelchair in that elevator, so it's not for that purpose. And then looking at it from like a play design purpose, I just don't understand why you would waste the space having an elevator and an escalator. I don't. The more I look at this, the more it upsets me. I'm putting it in oh dear God. This one I think was just like produced for several years. I don't know. I don't I can't explain it. But it's 2018 through 2020. I don't know why I didn't just say 2018. I don't know what I'm doing ever. This is like one of the more chaotic rankings I've done. Hope y'all are having fun. Anyway, we have a slide. We have a slide and I love it. That's so good. We've got a very very shallow little tub there. Definitely not safe to slide down it. I'm doing it again. This isn't about the logistics of the Barbie dream. Guys, please tell me this video is fun for you. Please tell me that me being unreasonably strict and realistic about a child's toy is funny to you. Because it's way too late for me to go back and try to stop myself from thinking the way that my brain naturally thinks. I literally cannot help it. Like I see the slide in the tub and that's the first thing I think. Whatever. Love the idea that you can like be in here just vibing and then all of a sudden be like, yeah, I kind of want to take a slide. Who cares about my clothes? Whatever. We're so close. I have to just get through this. The bathroom is fine, I guess. I don't know. There's so much printed on detail. I especially hate all of this. That's atrocious. Some things are fine to print on. The plant even, I think, is like understandable. Picture frames, perfectly fine to print on. You don't print on a whole scooter. That's no, no. And is this supposed to be a garage? Because if so, that's a hell of a speed bump to get into your own garage. I can't stop about the fact, like I can't stop thinking that I'm being really unrealistic. This is just not a vibe. I want it to be a vibe because like there's a slide. But why did I say it like that? I'm so sorry. I'm like on one today. And I kind of am like, you should refilm this because this is crazy of you. But I'm not going to. Surely it can't be worse. That's where I'm putting it. 2021, we still have a slide and a wildly shallow pool. So there's consistency. It's cute that the dogs get their own slide. That is actually really precious. I also think the layout of this is kind of fun and interesting. Like just the kind of L shape it has. That's kind of a vibe. The hanging chair. Y'all, I want to get one of these so bad. I did used to have one when, like, way back when I lived with my parents. Not like hanging from the ceiling. It was like freestanding, but I loved it. We have bunk beds and a trundle bed. I think that's what that's called. So like Barbie's having sleepovers, or it's just for her siblings. I don't really know. The bathroom's fine. This feels very blank. Surely there should be something going on there. I don't know. What? Hold on. No. Okay. What? What am I looking at? So there's the kitchen here, right? There's like all of this kitchen. But that's almost exactly the same as this, which is a half-baked second secret outdoor rooftop kitchen. And it just feels like there's a lot of space here that could be used. I have a lot of problems with this and a lot of questions, and no one's here to answer them. We're going to put that in Surely It Can't Be Worse as well. It turns out, guys, I'm a Barbie Dreamhouse hater. But we're finally on 2023, and I love this one, mostly because of the slide. Because again, it has a slide. But this one's like the best slide. Look at this. It goes swirly. We still have a little dog slide and a hanging chair over here. Shallow pool, but you know what? It seems like in the Barbie universe, you don't get to have a pool that's more than a foot deep. So that just seems standard. I will admit that the details are very iffy on this one. Like, the kitchen has a lot less detail, and thus far it seems like the kitchen has always been like the most detailed part of the house. So that's a bummer to see. The bathroom is like not a lot going on there. The bedroom is like kind of cool though. I feel like it's kind of an open concept, kind of goes into the closet area. I can get behind that. At least up top here, it's pathetic. Okay, I will fully admit to that. It's a pathetic showing for like a patio party space, but at least that there's something here instead of like the last one where it was just empty space and a weird kitchenette. I'm never gonna get over that. We have more like entertainment space over here. I just like this one. I can't justify it. I just do like it. I know it's not that great. I know there's a lot of problems. This whole section, I'm vibing with though. I think that means I can only put it in okay, given that I like 1/3 of it. But that's the Barbie Dreamhouse. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. I didn't like delve into all the details when I was preparing for this video. Like I like to save these things so that I can have a reaction on camera. And today the reactions on camera were weird, but so I didn't like look at any of the details, and I did not expect to be this disappointed by the dream houses. There's only one in top tier and only 3 total in the top 2 tiers. Yikes. Little rough out here. Or rough or not though, that is the final Barbie Dreamhouse ranking, at least according to me. I know this one was weird. I am sorry. I know I've already apologized a few times, but I can acknowledge this one was kind of exceptionally a weird video, and that's on me as an exceptionally weird human being. I hope it was fun for you regardless, though. Let me know your thoughts on the dream houses that we covered today. Do you like get what I'm complaining about when I'm being overly critical, or is that just me? You can tell me it's just me. Just like, please be nice. I'm sensitive. But really, I would like to know your thoughts on it, like outside my own head. It would be interesting to hear what you guys think about with the dream houses, what like your favorite features of dream houses are, because obviously mine are like slightly more realistic color tones, details, and slides. But I'd be very curious to see which ones or like which features you guys gravitate towards. But yeah, that's going to be all my thoughts for today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the chaos of today's video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night, whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.